Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to deal with the subject of postbellum America, and we're going to touch on the story of an individual by the name of Oscar Micheaux. This particular individual was born in Metropolis, Illinois in 1884. His mother and father moved there from Kentucky approximately 14 years after the Civil War. While growing up on the farm where they moved, Oscar found himself to be quite unhappy, and his father, of course, wanted him to be successful, but of course, parents and children don't always see eye to eye. So at age 17, the young man moved um, to Chicago with an older brother, where he pursued several jobs but came across a job which helped him to further his pursuit of what became a career. And that particular job was working on the railroad as a Pullman porter. Pullman porters were individuals who worked on the railroad assisting the customers on the trains with their packages, luggages, or luggage. This particular individual, Oscar Micheaux, made $2,000. He saved up $2,000 doing this particular job. A few years later, he wound up moving to South Dakota where he secured a homestead. While there on the homestead, he decided that he would write books about his experience as a black homesteader or pioneer. The books he sold himself. One particular individual that was interested in his material was a filmmaker from California by the name of George Johnson. This particular individual was in charge of a company or owned a company by the name of Lexington Motion Picture Company, or called the Lexington Motion Picture Company. He was interested in turning this book, which was authored by Oscar Micheaux, into a movie. The book was called Homesteader. However, Oscar saw the value of being in control of his own production. And because he and the filmmaker could not see eye to eye, the gentleman, or should I say the producer, was not willing to allow him to have full control over the production, Oscar decided that he was going to make the film himself and become his own filmmaker, starting his own production company. Now, being black, not coming from a wealthy family, he didn't have the funds, even though he had secured a few $1,000s prior to that working on the railroad as a Pullman porter. So what he did was he secured funds from those individuals that had purchased books from him. These were like his fans, and they believed in him, and his neighbors, of course, who also believed in him. And with this money, which was still not a lot, of course, he was able to make his first film. His first film came out, and he pursued this further. And 5 years after their production of a very racist movie called The Birth of a Nation, Oscar Micheaux, being concerned that this was placing blacks in a bad image and putting them in jeopardy, of course, because he decided to come out with a movie that was countering this negative stereotype of blacks. Of course, his movies were not accepted by everyone. Some people didn't accept what he had put out because it seemed that he was still promoting some stereotype that every black individual did not agree with. In his early days, he put out films that portrayed some black ministers in a negative light because he saw them as being hypocritical. Besides that, his movie that he had put out was portraying a woman that audience may have thought was white, but she had some black blood in her. And this uh, movie involved her having a relationship or being connected to the black homesteader. Well, of course, white film owners, studio producers, or should I say, those individuals that were involved with reviewing films were not keen on supporting a black movie maker, particularly one that had his ideas um, and would not allow his ideas to be influenced by other individuals. So he had to do this on his own. But because he was interested in pursuing this, he did so. And he ultimately ended up creating approximately 40 movies. And he became the most popular and most successful African American filmmaker of the early 20th century. Thank you for allowing me to share. And for further information on this subject, you can review the abstract that I have included with this video. Have a great day.